Boom, boom, boom. Wake up. Get out of the haze. We're going to talk women. We're going to talk money. We're going to talk success. I'm going to give you 7 protocols to playing, and I should put winning the game. This is going to be one of the most powerful videos that you're going to see in this series that we're doing here on YouTube about the game and winning the game, because the truth is that there's a vicious cycle of success. I'm going to explain to you how to play the cycle, how to win the cycle. There's a cycle of success that those of us who are crushing it at life, those of us who are going to get success are in. And I like to call it a vicious cycle of success, because what you see is that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. I had a call with a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine from back in the day when I was much younger. It was very sad to have this call with him. And me and him grew up together. He was a childhood friend. If he's watching this, you know, I love you, bro. And we had a call, and life hasn't turned out for him the way he wanted to. You know, he's dealing with a lot of debt. He's working in a job that he doesn't like. His relationships aren't where he wants them to be. He's just in a bad place, and I gave him some advice. I wanted to help him as much as I could. But the truth is that he's in a vicious cycle of failure, a vicious cycle of not living up to his potential, to where he wants to be. Whereas my life, where I'm in a vicious cycle of success. And it's vicious because it's not easy. I keep pushing myself. I keep going to war against my mind. Different things I'm going to share with you here and explain to you the way the game works. But he's in a vicious cycle that isn't success. But those who have success gain more success, right? It's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It starts somewhere. You think as one who is successful, and then you will be more successful. I talked recently to a guy who's closing and working as a high ticket closer, and he just made his first 6K in commissions in a month. That guy is going to be hyper successful over the next couple of months because he's in the vicious cycle of success right now, and the spiral is gaining. It's more and more and more. As we train and I go into the protocols here, I want you to know I have nothing to sell you. What I really want is for you to take fucking action. So if you want to grow, what you can do is subscribe. Subscribe if you want free education 2 times a week. That's how I rock and roll. That's how I do things. The first thing I want you to understand is that if you're going to win, if you're going to have success with women, with money, with life, you have to win the war of your mind. I don't really like talking about meeting women because the focus isn't meeting women. And if you want to get success in life, you don't start off just meeting women. You don't start off just like, I want it to be about women, and then you get women. Instead, you focus on being a successful, high-value man, and the women will come. Of course, you have to learn how to attract women. That's a whole nother training, but you'll have success with women as you become a successful man. So the first protocol, PR1, is win the war of your mind. You must train your mind the way that you train a muscle, the way that an athlete trains for success, the way that an athlete trains to win at the highest levels. You must train your mind. You feed your mind the right diet. There's a diet you can consume. Is the diet that you're consuming digital? Is it here on the phone? Where's the diet that you're consuming? Where is it coming from? What are you watching? Are you watching porn? Are you scrolling lots of social media? Are you around people that are not uplifting you and giving you positive information that's actually going to help you grow and help you win? You must feed your mind the right diet, because if the diet you're feeding your mind is poor, you also will be poor, right? Your dating life will also be poor. The things you have access to will also not be where you want it to be. You must find your holy grail. This is the third part of this. Finding the holy grail means, what is it that you're really aiming for? And in my last video, I talked about how to actually find your holy grail. I made a video about how to ultimately lock in, be successful, and focus, and how to train your mind for success. And in that video, I talk about finding a holy grail. Your holy grail is essentially your North Star. It's what you're pointing towards. It's what's guiding you. It's what you can see in the future. And that's what the holy grail is. So for me, as an example, my holy grail is I want to be a business owner who is earning $200,000 per month. That's my holy grail. That's the holy grail for me. That's when I'm set, when I'm officially good. 50K, which is what's in my immediate future right now, that's also part of the holy grail, is what's going to give me freedom. Right now, I don't have the full freedom I want. I have freedom to do most things I want pretty much, but there's certain levels of investment in parts of the game that I can't play in right now, and I want to be in that position, right? So you have to find your holy grail. Now, every morning, to win in your mind, you set an aggressive intention for success. Every single morning, what you do is set an aggressive intention for success to get to where you want to be. And this intention for success has to be aggressive. When I wake up every single morning, I wake up with a fury. I wake up where my mind is locked in on where I want to be, where I need to be. And I'm not sabotaging myself from the moment I wake up. Whereas a lot of people, what I've seen is they wake up, and from the moment they wake up, there's just a point of self-sabotage. They wake up and they're like, it's already difficult. It's already a battle that I'm losing in my mind. So you have to win the war of your mind. What some guys do is they'll wake up, first thing you do is grab porn, or the first thing you do is scroll social media, right? That's an example of losing in the war of your mind. Every morning you have to set an aggressive intention for success. One of the ways I do this, by the way, is I keep my phone on airplane mode until I have my first 2 wins, which means I walk my dog and I head to the gym. Until I'm literally out of the house and heading out to go to the gym, I have my phone on airplane mode, so I'm getting no stimulation. I'm getting nothing negative, nothing that's tilting the battle in my mind away from a place that doesn't help me. The other part of this is having active meditation as a daily practice, daily meditating, but not active meditation where you're waking up and just saying, I'm going to sit and go on my sofa, but active meditation meaning you meditate as you're doing things. I just had a call with a client where he was talking about on a sales calls, he's really starting to struggle with certain moments around handling objections, and he's really struggling kind of with the prospects not taking him seriously, and he's not bringing deals over the line. And one of the ways that I've started to help him is we're working on him meditating while he's on the call. So when he's literally talking to the prospect, instead of him thinking of what's next, the war in the mind, right? Your mind battling against you. Instead of him wondering what's next, how can I fight my mind to get to what's next? Instead, meditate and sit in the stillness in the moment of the call. Sit in that and experience it as it comes to you and get present to the moment. That's a huge key. So I'm constantly meditating every day. Like as I go through my day, as I go through my life, I'm in a state of meditation. I say this in almost every video. When I train my guys, when I talk to you here, I'm always in a state of meditation, and I'm never letting that state go because I want to consistently win the war of my mind. My mind is battling. Your mind is battling for you, right? Your heart and your soul are on the line. So you have to win the war in your mind. The other thing I want to show you is this message from Kobe Bryant. This is from him in the finals against the Orlando Magic back in 2009, and they had won 2 games out of 4. If you understand how basketball works, how the NBA works, you need to win 4 games in a series of 7 in order to become the champion. That's how it works against the team you're competing against. And he had won 2 games out of the 4 required, and you hear what he says here. They're up 2-0 against the team. And the reporters were getting all excited. The media was getting excited, like this team is so great. But listen to this mindset here.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, 0. He said, I'm not happy because the job's not finished. I'm not happy because the job's not finished. Right? The job's not finished. That's it. I'm not happy. And that's how I feel every day. I wake up and I go to war. The job's not done. It's not done. Right? I'm not close yet. I'm grateful. Right? But the job's not finished. So if you want to attract women, if you want to attract success, if you want to attract all the money in the world, you must become this kind of man who is aligned with success, who is aligned with his vision for the future, who is aligned with winning the war of his mind. That's really what the key is going to be. The other part of this is look the part of success. Part 2. Protocol number 2. Look the part of success. Humans are visual creatures. We look at each other and we make judgments and assessments about each other as humans. We're constantly doing this. We're looking at each other and we're measuring each other up. We're always looking, like you look at a homeless person who's not dressed well, who's got rags on, who's doesn't look like they've taken care of themselves, maybe has some cuts. You judge them. You immediately put them in a box, not successful. One of the things that helped me is my network began to improve as my physique improved. I know for me, like, it's really interesting, and it's not unfortunate. It's just how humans are designed, how our minds are designed. But I know that the men that I tend to network with, the guys that are in my circle, are all guys that are in shape, all guys that are put together, all guys that have a regular gym routine that can fight. These are like the guys around me. And the reason is because I tend to be around people who look the part of success. Generally, you find, and you've probably seen online, the guys who are making money, the guys who are influencing in certain spaces, who are some of the most successful guys, are in shape, right? They're jacked. It doesn't mean they're the biggest dude ever all the time, but they're in shape. They have a gym routine. So I noticed that my network began to improve as my physique improved. And your physique will act as a signal of value. It means that you put in the work within yourself, because you can't fake physique. Sure, some people take, steroids and stuff, but you're still not faking it. That's enhancing. You can't sit at home all day just like jerking off and pump steroids and look like freaking Arnold. It doesn't work that way. Even a guy who's juicing to get to the highest levels of competition, he still put in the work, right? You're in the gym pumping iron, right? No matter how intense that might be, you're still working out. So your physique is going to act as a signal of value, and it means that you've put work in within yourself. That's one of the reasons why it's so powerful to have a good physique. Not even just to train yourself to go to the gym for discipline. I think that's huge, but I'm specifically talking dating and women. If you treat your physique as an important priority and an important representation of the way that you look, you're going to attract that same energy, right? So if you put in the work and you put in work within yourself to have a physique that people are attracted to, that people look at and they're like, oh, this guy's put in work, what's going to happen is it's going to be a signal to other women and other high value men. And my circle, my network literally improved as my physique improved. Other men started taking me more seriously when I wasn't like a skinny kid. And you can see the difference. This is how I used to look. I was doing magic back in school, in my university. I used to do magic tricks to try to pick up girls. This is how I tried to do it. Look at how I looked back then. And after hitting the gym, I've been consistently in the gym for, I'd say, about 2.5 years now. I was on off and on before, but now consistently I've been in the gym for 2.5 years. This is me now, and I still keep myself trim. I don't overload on food. I'm not on a massive bulking diet, but the physique is there, right? And, my clothes fit well. Women look at me and women are attracted to how I look. Other guys respect the way I look. They can see that I've put in the work to be at a place where I'm happy, where I look good, and I keep on building on it. I'm just consistently in the gym. I consistently stick at it, The third protocol is build a digital resume. Okay, here's the third thing that's going to change things for you, and it's going to help you attract women, going to help you attract money, help you attract success. The reality is that we live in the social and digital world. That's just the reality of things. The social media is the new town hall. It's the new place where we all congregate and we look at what each other has going on. So if you're moving towards success, if you're doing the right things and moving towards success, document the journey. Don't just keep the journey of success hidden. Don't keep it hidden to yourself. Document it actually. It also depends on where you want to be. If you're in a monk mode period where your head's down and you're grinding and you're not really focused on acquiring new relationships, whether that's women or network, totally fine. Let's say you're building something, like in a building phase, maybe you don't document so much on social media. Because as an example, when I'm in my building phases, I don't constantly document on social media. But when I am in a phase where I want to expand and acquire a new network, connect with people, I start posting more on social media. I start documenting my journey. I leverage IG, which is a free network. This is literally the best free network out there. Have a daily story, which means post on your IG daily. This is if you want to acquire people, if you want to acquire connection. I have times where I do this and times where I don't. For business, I've done this a lot, and I made tens of thousands of dollars doing this on Instagram and high ticket coaching for myself. My own personal brand is by making a daily story and then a reel 2 times per week. A daily story and a reel 2 times a week. So a daily story meaning you share where you're at in your journey. You share an insight you've had that day. You share a piece of value, something that's interesting that's come across your desk or something that's come across your life, or when you've had a piece of success you've had. And then a 2 times per week reel, which means you make a reel 2 times a week. It could be you talking on camera, and I'll make a training about how to really maximize social media for sales and money and things like that. I'll share with you another training about that later. But here's the basics of what you do. Daily story, 2 times a week reel, where you literally bi-weekly, you create content that people are going to be interested in, they're going to engage in, they're going to say, I want to reach out to this person because they have value. Or if you're the one reaching out, which a lot of times happens with women, you have to reach out to them. They're not always just going to DM you. If you have enough status, they will. But the highest quality women, relative to your status, you're going to have to reach out to them. So what will happen is you'll have more threads. You'll have more hands out. You'll have more connections out going out from your profile when you make those 2 reels. And they have to be good. You have to polish the content. This is why for video, I use CapCut, or you can use, for my personal videos on YouTube, I edit on Final Cut. But for videos for IG, you can use CapCut, you can use Video Leap, things like that. And for photos, if you're posting photos, make sure photos look good. Use Lightroom or ViscoCam and make the photos look stylized, make them look good. You don't want a photo where, you look kind of busted. It's just like a selfie, a mirror selfie, low lighting. poorly done. You and three bros looking fucked up. You want it to be good photos. You can look at my Instagram for inspiration. My Instagram is at oxy.tim. I put it in the chat. Always, it's down below at oxytim, oxy.tim. Shoot me a message there. I respond to all my DMs. Right now, there's something I want you to understand. There's a success gap right now. There's a success gap that's being created similar to that cycle, the vicious cycle of success. There's a success gap being created between those who are winning and those who are getting everything they want in the world versus those who aren't. And this conversation I had with my friend was so sad because, seeing where he is right now and he's talking about how the world is crazy and how things are difficult and how the little people like us aren't being heard. And he was like, you get what I mean, man? And the truth is I couldn't resonate with him at all. I couldn't resonate with him. I didn't understand what he was saying. It didn't hit my soul at all. It didn't have an effect on me. The reason it didn't have an effect outside of me feeling bad for him is because this is not my reality. And we're experiencing the success gap, right? I'm growing. I'm making 6 figures a year consistently. He's stuck in a place where he's, in the very, very low, margin of income, even below 30, 40,000 a year. And it sucks. It's tough for him. It's really tough for him, but there's a success gap being created. And as much as I want to help him, he hasn't developed the tools to be able to grow and to be able to attract what he wants. Whereas I'm getting everything I want. And it's really sad, but this gap is being created. So the question you have to ask yourself is like, what side do you want to be on? Because it's very difficult to find a middle. There isn't really a middle. There's either going to be freedom or you're going to be a victim. And I don't mean a victim in your mind. I mean, you're literally going to be a victim of the system. You're going to be a victim because you're not going to have the freedom to create what you want, to attract what you want, to invest in what you want. So the system's just going to hit you down and you're going to succumb to just pleasures like, porn, Instagram, things like that, like playing video games just for some stimulation, the 1 or 2 vacation you can get a year, whereas myself or guys that I'm around, we're growing more and more. And it's not to say that I'm better or anything. I don't say this to say that. Genuinely, it's sad to me if there is a gap. But the good news is that you can close the gap. You can jump over the gap. And the way you do that brings me to protocol number 4, which is what I call eat from the king's table. There's me at a mastermind dinner. Shout out to my boy Yahya out here in Budapest. You have to build your circle of kings. This is key, man. Like, you have to build a circle of kings. Be a part of the circle of kings. When I say eat from the king's table, I'm not talking about you eating from the king out there, like the king's table who you're lucky to be invited. I'm talking about your own circle of kings where you are all kings. Who's the king's table? Who is the king? You're the king. What you do, and here's the practical way to do it, it's go on social media and look in your area for high value individuals. The king's table means you and high value men that are getting together and engaging in activities that are going to promote personal growth, going to promote money, that are going to promote success, that are going to promote having better relationships, attracting what you want in terms of women, in terms of money, freedom. That's the group I'm talking about. I'm part of my own group, which I'm grateful to be in. All right. For you, what is that group going to be? So you go on social media, you look in your area for high value individuals, business related links in your profile. In the profile, if they have this is a good sign they're a high value individual. There's a couple of these signs. Okay. It has to be all of these because there's people who have business related links that are not doing shit. But if they have business related links in the profile, that's one. You see that they have a life of action, and you can see on their profile that they're living a life of action. It goes back to documenting, right? If you want to be one of the guys who's at the king's table and you want to be one of the kings, show your life of action. Your photos, your stories should look like you're doing things like there is purpose. Their content is uplifting and motivating, right? They create content that is motivating where people want to engage or people want to be a part of it. And people can see, hey, this is what this person's got going on. This person inspires me to do better. This person's on my same wavelength, because you're going to attract other kings. The kings in the area are going to attract each other. And there's kings at different levels, right? Like there's people at a certain level that you simply won't have access to now where you need to buy your way in. Then that becomes your circle. Once you buy your way in, you level up. And then the next level and the next level. There's also a certain level of freedom that these people have. You can see the freedom from their profile. You can see the freedom in how they live. You can see what they do. Some people fake, that's for sure. Some people are going to fake it. But over a certain amount of time, you begin to see the patterns. You begin to notice who's got good things going on and who doesn't. You also want to screen in the DMs. I'm never going to take meetings with people without actually screening and without asking, hey, brother, like, what have you got going on? Tell me what's been going on with you in the business recently. Hey, brother, what line of business are you in? right? One coffee a week is what I aim for. I aim to get one coffee with a new person a week. Maybe I'll go out for a drink in the evening. Drinks don't mean alcohol because I don't drink alcohol, but one drink, like go out and grab some drinks in the evening somewhere, or just grab a coffee a week. That's really what I aim for, and that's my goal. And one of these a week with the right kind of person expands the network. So in a year, you've met 40 to 50 individuals that are high value. Some of them you're not going to be close to, right? But out of that group, there's going to be 5 to 10 of them that are really going to be solid with you, where you can invest in creating some kind of circle of kings, a circle of mastermind type of circle that you build yourself and build around you. This is what I have, right? And I bring some of these guys together. We connect, we meet, we go out, we have great times. This is really the key, and this is what it is. So the fifth protocol, and this is what's going to take you from being a guy who might have a good circle to actually being the guy who can attract all the women he wants and who can attract the relationships he wants. It can attract better business opportunities as well, is the leadership ritual. This is the fifth protocol. Leadership ritual is important. The leadership ritual means that you take on the responsibility of creating direction and creating leadership. You take on this responsibility because feminine, high quality women are going to look for direction from quality men. Feminine women will look for direction. Feminine women will want to follow your lead. That's the facts. That's the reality. That's how it works. That's the game. So in order to lead others, you must lead yourself. In order to lead others, you must become what you want to experience. A lot of men talk about being leaders, and they talk about, I want to be a leader, alpha male, I can lead my own path, I know where I'm going, but they can't lead themselves. They're not the person that they want to experience, actually. They're not the person that women would want to be around, yet they say they can lead. So in order to lead others, you must lead yourself. There's a few ways you can lead yourself and start to practice being a better leader, and one of the best ways that I learned this was actually doing sales and doing high-ticket closing. I think for all the guys out there that are watching this and you're in self-improvement, you're looking at, building a business. And if you're struggling right now, I'm telling you, like, I'm not even kidding, like the best way to get your foot in the door of business and self-improvement at the same time and work on yourself as a man, work on your leadership ability, work on your communication skills, work on your boundaries, is getting into high ticket sales. Like that will change you because you must become a better leader. You must take on a leadership role. You must take on responsibility for the business owner, for the company you're working with, without having all the responsibility of it all going to shit, right? You don't have to run the whole business. You don't have to solve the problems and burn out the fires, but you take on the responsibility of the sale. You take on the responsibility of the communication. So it's really powerful in that sense. Now, one of the ways you can become a better leader is you have to start making decisions faster. Okay. What I found is a lot of guys hesitate so much on making decisions, like even simple stuff like what to eat. They hesitate on it. They don't move quickly. They don't move in terms of here's what I'm going to do. Here's my schedule. Here's the routine. Here's the actions. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the next steps. They don't do this. So you want to make decisions faster and move towards living a life of momentum. A life of momentum is where you're always on the go. It doesn't mean that you can't ever rest, but it means when you wake up, you don't just sit in bed and bask and scroll. Instead, you get up. You have purpose. I told you what I do. I get up. I walk my dog. We go outside, get some fresh air, enjoy the cold air because it's winter here in Budapest. Enjoy the cold, and then I'm off to the gym after that. I walk to the gym, right? Sometimes I'll take a walk, or sometimes I'll take a metro, and I'll head there. I'm good to go. I feel great. It's amazing, right? And I'm living this life of momentum. I'm continuously moving forward. I'm continuously going forward. I'm continuously moving the needle forward one step at a time. And this is my decision-making process. In my business, if I need to hire, I go online and I find the person and I hire them. I'm not waiting around for myself to be led by someone else. I'm not waiting around for certain things to happen in my life to make it easier for me to lead myself. I lead myself, and as a result, others will follow me. You must assume success is the default. Stop bracing for failure. I see a lot of guys who would do this in dating all the time. When I was teaching dating success and helping men, attract high quality women during my years as a dating coach, what I'd see is a lot of guys would want to approach the hot girl. They'd want to meet the hot chick, but then they'd brace for failure. They'd be like, what if I fail? What if she doesn't like me? What if it doesn't work well? Right? And then what happens, because you haven't assumed success is the default and you've braced yourself for failure, you're ready to fail. You're ready for things to go wrong. What happens then? All of a sudden, you start to sabotage. You start to fall short of your goals because you don't believe you actually can do it. So one of the things that has helped me, and I'm going to give to you, is start to assume that you're going to be successful. Start to assume that success is literally your norm. Start to assume that success is the thing that's automatically going to be gifted to you by the universe. Don't assume that success is difficult or success is something that's far away. Assume I can be successful just by showing up, just by me doing the work. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get to where I want. And you stop bracing for failure. And you push 5% harder every single week. You do this across the board. Push 5% harder in your exercises. Push 5% harder in how you sell or how you build a business, or even if you're working a 9 to 5 that you're passionate about, push 5% harder there. Push 5% harder in your routine and the way you invest in yourself. Push 5% harder in the way that you show up for your mentors. Push 5% harder in the way that you date. The way that you date girls, the way that you go out and hang out with girls. Push 5% harder in setting boundaries and setting standards, not being the guy who is always chasing, right? This is how you're going to attract all the women. I know, I want to be clear, like if you've made it this far, I know this video isn't about like, here's the women, get the women. The reason is because in order to get the women, you need to do these things first. I know guys from back in the day that would go out and chase women and spend hours and hours and hours hunting women, but they don't have shit in their lives. They don't have shit going on. And as a result, the women they're with don't respect them. The women are not attractive. The women are low quality women. So if you want high quality women, you must follow this protocol to become a high quality man. And then the women will follow. The women will come. The women will join your path and join your journey, and it will become effortless. The 6th protocol, evolve your standards. Evolving your standards means the environments that you work in, the food that you eat, how you work out, your thought process, your network, the women you date. Let's go through this. So first is the environments that you work. Where do you work at? For me right now, I have my office. I have it set up in a way that I like. You can't see the full thing, but if you've seen my other videos where I don't teach them like this, you've seen that I have a pretty nice setup here. My setup's quite nice, actually. I have a little whiteboard, the light setup, my camera there. It's good. It feels good. I feel comfortable here. I like my office. But then I also have an environment I can work in that isn't here. I go and work at very high-end locations as well, where I know the team that works there. I know the management and the service staff, and I sit in the lobby or the bar area of some of these high-end places, like the Four Seasons Hotel as an example, and I spend time working there. I see beautiful women going in and out. Sometimes I'll meet other business owners that are coming there for meetings or coming from out of town, and I meet these people. I also have a space that I rent, a working space, an office space that I rent where I can go and work there too. So I have high quality environments that I'm in that stimulate my mind. Knocked down my AirPod. I have high value environments that I'm in that stimulate my mind. You want to be in a state where you're consistently positively motivated and positively stimulated. The food that you eat. What is your diet like? Now, I'm not a stickler for diet, and I'm never going to make a diet video on this channel because, to be honest, I haven't had the best diet for my whole life, and even now my diet is not supreme, but I do consume food that's going to positively move me forward. I'm not drinking sodas at like 0. I drink energy drinks a little bit sometimes, or usually it's black coffee. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks, once or twice a week, I'll have an energy drink. But normally I'm drinking black coffee. I'm not eating junk food. I'm not snacking all the time. Rarely, if anything, maybe when I go to a movie theater with my girl. But I'm investing my energy in consuming foods that are going to uplift me, foods that what I consider carry higher vibration. That's a whole nother training. I'm not going to talk about it here, but foods that uplift me, foods that make me feel like I'm on the warrior's journey. I eat a lot of meat cooked the right way, which is medium or medium rare. That's my style. I'm eating a few greens with that. Couscous, things like that, healthy foods. My girl will cook for me, or I'll go and I'll grab some properly cooked, some well-cooked Asian food from a really a high-quality restaurant that uses really good, organic ingredients, things like that. That's where I'm getting my food from. So the food you eat, what's the standard there? How you work out, that's another one. When you work out, do you push yourself hard? I've recently added in a 6th workout. So now I'm in the gym Monday to Saturday. Sunday's my rest day, but I'm in the gym Monday to Saturday, and I have a really, really strict workout regimen where I'm pushing myself towards excellence every single week. Every single day that I'm in the gym, and I go 5% harder. So I'm always trying to add a 5% volume max to my workout, whether it's volume in terms of weight or volume just in terms of reps, where I'm pushing just a bit harder. Your thought processes. How do you think? What's the standard in your head? What's the dialogue in your head? Are you telling yourself you're not good enough? Are you telling yourself you're a nobody and that you're not worth it? Because that's what a lot of guys say to themselves, man. And if you're saying this, it's time to level it up. It's time to realize you are the shit. Right? You are a king. You can be the king. If you don't feel like you're the king, it's time to step into your king role. right? There's a video there I'm going to probably make in the future. How to become the king. Step into your king role and believe and think as you are a king, right? Because how you think is who you will be. As you think, that's what you are. That's just facts. That's the truth. When I started thinking that I was a business owner who was doing 10 to 15K a month, I started doing 10 to 15K a month consistently and easily, like genuinely easily, right? As I started thinking around 20K, that's when I started hitting 20, 25K consistently and easily. Now I'm thinking at 50K. I'm going to be thinking at 100K. So that's how you're going to get there. Then is your network. What's the standard of your network? Who are you around in your network? Who are the guys you're around? Are they guys that uplift you and guys that are crushing it, that are also following similar protocols as this? Because these are the protocols, bro. Like, this is where the success is going to come from. It's going to come from these different, these steps that are going to get you from one place where you are now to actually achieving crazy levels of success. So the network you're around, who are those guys? Like, look at who they are. Do an audit of your network. Look at who's surrounding you. Look into their faces when you're around them. What kind of energy do you see? Do you feel good, positive, uplifting energy where they're helping you grow and where they're actually going to push you forward? Or do you feel like they're not in the right headspace and you're not on the right wavelength? Who are you around? And then lastly is the women you date. The standards for the women you date. We want those to grow. We want that to grow. We want that to be high. I want you to have a high standard for dating very, very attractive women, but becoming this kind of man is how you're able to have that standard. So all the protocols before protocol 6, from 1 to 5, those are important. That's how your standards are going to be able to evolve, because you're going to make more money. You're going to be around higher quality women. Your network's going to be better. You're going to feel better in your body when you start to treat yourself with that level of respect and follow these protocols. And then you'll be able to be more specific in your standards with the women that you date. This is what it is. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. A quote from Plato. And this is the 7th protocol. It's understanding this idea that the greatest victory is conquering yourself. Because right now, my friend, my brother, my guy, you're going to war against yourself. You're going to war against your mind and the influences that are in your mind that have corrupted your mind. Because the truth is, you're not a blank slate anymore. You've been infected by this device, as have I. And I'm constantly in a state of deprogramming, of reprogramming myself to think differently, to be different, to evolve, to grow. And that's what I want for you. I want you to grow. I want you to have success. So if this landed for you, go ahead and apply all of this. If it made sense, start applying it. Rewatch it if you have to, because this is some powerful training. I think that's really going to get you to where you want to be. And it took me from where I was a couple years ago, where I wasn't doing well, where I didn't have the money I wanted, I didn't have the freedom I wanted, to a place where I had all the options in the world, where I had the ability to date who I wanted, where I had the ability to make the kind of money I want, travel how I want, have this lifestyle of freedom that I want to have. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to experience that, you need to step into these protocols and start moving forward towards your path to success and ultimately conquer yourself. Okay. I want you to win. I want you to grow. Wake up, step out of the haze, step out of the confusion, see what's in front of you, get clear, understand what's in front of you, understand how to grow, understand how to thrive and how to have success. I'm rooting for you. I want you to win. I want all the best for you. Be blessed. Take care. I will see you on the next one.